Are you wondering what's for dinner tonight? Hello, my name is Haley Mitchell, Account Extension Agent for Texas AgriLife Extension Service, and I might just have the answer to your question. Today I'm going to show you how to prepare a quick and simple recipe called guilt-free chicken enchiladas. Let's get started. We have 1 package of fat-free cream cheese softened, 1 cup of fat-free sour cream, 1 can of mild green enchilada sauce, 3 cups of cubed cooked chicken, 6 flour tortillas that have been cut in half, 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, 1 can of black beans that I have drained and rinsed off. Alright, this recipe is going to go together real simple, real fast. This could be something for a busy day that you're having. You just come in. Like I said, you're going to make sure that your cream cheese is softened. It just makes it easier to mix it when you're mixing all these together. We're going to add our sour cream in. And you don't have to use all the fat-free ingredients. It just cuts down on the calories in this recipe and the total fat. That's why they're called guilt-free chicken enchiladas. So we're going to mix in our sour cream into the cream cheese mixture. And it is a little hard to mix this cream cheese, so if you want to get an electric beater out at this time, you might want to do that. I'm just going to be using this mixer just today. Next, you're going to mix that all up. We're going to add our 1 can of mild green enchilada sauce. Just pour that in there, just like that. All right. Just mix it up real good. You can always add whatever you like to this recipe. It's going to be real forgiving. This is something that if your family, doesn't care for cream cheese, you could always try adding the low-fat cream of mushroom soup to this instead of the cream cheese. So just kind of play around. That's what cooking's all about, is just experimenting and figuring out what your family likes and just altering recipes to how you like them. All right, so once that's all good and mixed up, like I said, if you want to use an electric mixer for this, it'd probably go a little faster and mix up a little better for you. All right, so next I'm going to go ahead and add in my 3 cups of cooked cube chicken. And if you were in a hurry, you could stop by the grocery store and buy a whole chicken that's already cooked, a roasted chicken, and take it home and just pull it off the bone, and this would work just the same. Or you could cook your own chicken, just however you prefer. I prefer the cubed cut up chicken like this way. All right, so we're going to make sure this is all just good and mixed up here. All right, I'm going to set this aside. Next, we're going to take our greased casserole dish here. What I like about this recipe is it goes together fast. And I've got my 6 tortillas that I've cut in half. Now with this recipe, instead of, typically you roll enchiladas. But now I'm going to layer these because sometimes you just have busy days and you don't have time for all that rolling. So I've taken these and cut them in half, and I'm going to lay them in the bottom of this casserole dish. Make sure and spray your casserole dish with some oil of some sort, just so the tortillas don't stick to the bottom of the pan. And I always lay them cut sides on the ends here so they're nice and flat, just like that. And I take 1 more here, put them on the sides. So I'm making 1 layer with just tortillas. And I'm going to take this mixture of cream cheese, sour cream, green chilies, and chicken. And this is going to be the layer that goes on top of your tortillas. You're going to do half of this mixture right here. Okay? Just spread it out even, just like that. Okay, so we're just going to spread this out over the tortillas. This would also be another dish that you could fix up that morning before you go to work, put it in the refrigerator, come home, pull it out, put it in the oven. It'd be something that would keep easy in the refrigerator. Next, I'm going to add our 1 can of drained, rinsed black beans. Now, these black beans are going to add lots of protein to this recipe. Black beans have lots of protein. They're low in fat. So this is going to be a great addition to this recipe. So you're just going to make sure that they're spread out good and even. Okay. So we've got that done just like that. Next, you're going to do a layer of the shredded cheddar cheese. And of course, the cheese is going to provide your family with calcium. Okay, you just want to do half the cheese. We're going to top it off later. All right, so next you're going to come back and do your layer of tortillas again, just on top. And the good thing also about layering this, you're not getting as much of the tortilla as you would if you rolled them. So, because essentially this is only 6 tortillas that you're using in this recipe. All right, so once you've done your other layer of tortillas, you're going to come back, finish it off with the rest of your sour cream, cream cheese, and chicken mixture. Just pour the rest of that on top, smooth it out evenly. Okay. Now this recipe is going to cost you $2.36 per serving, and it will serve 4 to 6 people. And it's a dish also that the longer it sits in the refrigerator, the better it gets. All the flavors start mixing together. We're just going to add the rest of this cheese on just like that. If you want to add more cheese to this dish, you can. I know kids sometimes like things a little more cheesier, so feel free to just add as much cheese as you like. Just remember, you're going to be adding more fat to your dish once you start adding more cheese. Now you're going to let this cook in the oven for about 30 minutes on 350 degrees, or just until the cheese starts to melt and it starts getting bubbly. Now this is our finished product here. I would suggest serving this with some beans or some Spanish rice. So the next time you're wondering what's for dinner, I hope you remember Texas AgriLife Extension Service has the answer to your question.